Welcome back to our channel. Tonight, we're re-diving deep into one of Uganda's most electrifying political battles, the race for Kampala Central, with the long-serving incumbent Mohamed Seriko stepping away to pursue a presidential bid. The floodgates have opened, and a new generation of leaders is vying for control of this crucial constituency. The stakes have never been higher, and NBS television is hosting a must-watch debate that promises to be a defining moment in the lead-up to the 2026 general elections. This isn't just a local race. It's a litmus test for the political pulse of the entire nation. The lineup of candidates is as diverse as it is ambitious. We have David Lewis Rubongoya, the Secretary General of the National Unity Platform, or NUP. Then there's Minsa Kabanda, the current Kampala minister, representing the ruling National Resistance Movement. Also in the ring are Aida Nakuja from the Democratic Front, Abdallah Walingalira of the People's Front for Freedom, independent candidate Suzan Kushaba, and Uganda Boxing Federation President Moses Muhangi. But the candidate who has truly captured the public's imagination, especially online, is the businessman Abraham Luzzi. Luzzi has turned traditional campaigning on its head. Forget the dusty rallies and printed posters. His strategy is He's become a viral sensation, partly thanks to his sense of humor and the popular catchphrase, "Sarah is tall," a loving reference to his wife. Luzzi argues that traditional campaigns are outdated and costly. He's launched what he calls a smart manifesto, urging voters to connect with him online. He claims this digital approach can slash election costs by a staggering 80%. A bold statement in a country where campaign spending is often astronomical. So, what's in Luzzi's smart manifesto? It's radical, to say the least. He's proposing a massive overhaul of the government structure. Picture this: reducing Parliament from over 550 MPs down to just 80. He also wants to cap the cabinet at 50 ministers, who would be appointed strictly based on merit, not political connections. Luzzi also calls for abolishing by-elections and enforcing strict qualifications for anyone who wants to be a legislator. This includes a mandatory bachelor's degree and a minimum personal wealth benchmark, a proposal that's sure to spark intense debate. But his most aggressive proposals are aimed at tackling corruption, a deep-rooted issue in Uganda. Luzzi is advocating for nothing less than capital punishment for those found guilty of causing gross financial loss to the country. He wants to establish 24-hour courts dedicated to corruption cases, ensuring trials are wrapped up within 2 months. It's a fast-track justice approach. He also demands the full recovery of all stolen funds, plus annual interest. For minor offenses, he suggests alternative sentencing options to decongest prisons. It's a hardline stance that's winning him both praise for its boldness and criticism for its severity. Now, let's turn to David Lewis Rubongoya of the NUP. As the Secretary General of the main opposition party, he carries the weight of a movement that has galvanized Uganda's youth. Rubongoya kicked off his campaign with a massive rally in Kamwokia, the symbolic heart of the NUP. His message is clear. It's time for a people-centered agenda focused on improving service delivery. He has pledged sweeping reforms in key areas like taxation, aiming to ease the burden on small businesses and ordinary citizens. He's also targeting education and healthcare, promising better quality and accessibility for all. His vision includes significant upgrades to Kampala's urban infrastructure, tackling issues like traffic congestion and poor sanitation. Rubongoya isn't just asking for votes. He's calling on Kampala residents to join what he's termed the #ProtestVote226 movement, framing the election as a referendum on the current state of governance. On the other side of the political spectrum is the NRM's Minsa Kabanda. As the Minister for Kampala, she represents the establishment and is running on a platform of continuity and development. Her campaign is heavily focused on uplifting urban communities, particularly market women and residents of informal settlements, who form a significant portion of the city's population. Kabanda is working hard to counter the narrative that the ruling NRM has lost its influence in the capital. She insists that her party still has the capacity and the will to deliver inclusive development and improve the lives of Kampala's residents. Her strategy is to showcase tangible government projects and promise more of the same, positioning herself as a stable and experienced hand. But this isn't just a three-horse race. The field is packed with compelling candidates who bring their own unique perspectives. Take Moses Muhangi, the president of the Uganda Boxing Federation. He is stepping into the political ring with a clear mission: to champion sports development from within Parliament. Muhangi points to his track record, citing increased allowances for amateur boxers and better pay for referees and officials under his leadership. He argues that sports have been neglected for too long and believes that with a seat at the legislative table, he can secure better funding and policies to support athletes across the country. He's not just a politician, he's an advocate, and his message is resonating with a demographic that often feels overlooked. Then we have Suzan Kushaba, an independent candidate with a powerful backstory. A former NRM member, she quit the party after being denied the ticket, a common story in Ugandan politics. Instead of fading away, she's leaned into grassroots mobilization, building a campaign from the ground up. Her focus is on empowerment for women, the ghetto community, and unemployed youth. Kushaba is positioning herself as a true voice of the people, independent of party structures and loyal only to her constituents. Her campaign is a testament to the power of community-level politics and her ability to connect with voters on a personal level. And we can't forget the other contenders: Aida Nakuya of the Democratic Front and Abdallah Wallengalera of the People's Front for Freedom. Each brings their own policy ideas and visions for Kampala Central, further enriching the debate and giving voters a wide array of choices. Their presence ensures that the conversation won't be dominated by just the major parties. As the candidates prepare to face off in the NBS debate, analysts are expecting sharp exchanges and a much clearer picture of their policy differences. This debate will force them to move beyond slogans and present concrete plans. How will Rubongoya's vision for a protest vote clash with Kabanda's defense of the NRM's record? How will Luzzi's radical digital-first manifesto hold up under scrutiny? Will Muhangi and Kushaba be able to cut through the noise and make their case as champions of specific communities? With just months to go until the 2026 general elections, the Kampala Central parliamentary race is shaping up to be one of the most closely watched contests in Uganda. The outcome here could send shockwaves across the political landscape. It's a story of new versus old, digital versus traditional, and radical ideas versus established systems. It's a reflection of the changes happening in Ugandan society itself. What are your thoughts on these candidates? Whose vision for Kampala Central do you find most compelling? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on this race and other political developments across the continent, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.